All right, what's up, everybody? How we doing? Now, as we know, UFC 269 took place last night, and Dustin Poirier did not achieve his lifelong dream. He did not fulfill his destiny. He did not go out there and do what he wanted to do, okay? The man has been on a mission to be the undisputed lightweight champion for a very, very long time. Dustin Poirier truly felt, and so did I believed. I was sold the dream. I thought he was going to do it. I thought we were going to see Dustin Poirier finally wrap that shiny belt around his waist and lay claim to the title of the undisputed champion of the world. But as you know, that never happened. Charles Oliveira was the better man. Simple as that. Charles Oliveira had more ways to win, okay? He had the boxing, he had the striking, he had the pressure, he had the wrestling and the jiu-jitsu as well. When you put it all together, Charles Oliveira deserved to win. The best man won on the night, and Dustin Poirier knows that. Dustin Poirier took it like a man, okay? In fact, he's making a donation to support the community where Charles Oliveira is from. He knows that he comes from a very deprived area where money's very tight and there's a lot of poverty. Dustin Poirier, I think it's $20,000. So well done to that man. And listen, I've been there myself, not in world title fights. When I was fighting my way towards the title, I had 3 number 1 contender matchups and I fell short in all of them. Dan Henderson, Chael Sonnen, Vitor Belfort, all number 1 contender matchups that I lost, and I was devastated, I was crushed, but I never gave up hope. Dustin Poirier, on the flip side, he has become the interim lightweight champion when he beat Max Holloway, and he had 2 shots at the undisputed title. Now, the reason I bring that up, 2 shots, is for a very, very good reason. It's hard. Like, I used to take a lot of stock in the fact that I got to number 1 contender matchups 3 times. I used to say, oh, it's so hard to build your way up and, get a number 1 contender matchup. To do that once is good, but to do it 3 times is great. That's how I used to try and console myself. For Dustin Poirier, he fought for the undisputed title twice. That in itself is a tremendous accomplishment, okay? But participation trophies do not exist. There is no silver medals in MMA. They don't give a check or something special for losing. You know, you want that belt. You want to go down in history. Of course, Dustin Poirier has had an incredible career. He took it like a man. He went out there. He fought like a man. In fact, the first round, he almost had that fight done. But it didn't go his way. He was choked out in round 3. As I say, no shame in that. But where does Dustin Poirier go from here? What is the next move? Is he done? Is Dustin done and dusted, in terms of being a fighter, in terms of his goal of becoming the champion of the world? I say no. It may be a long and dusty road that he's got to go down, but there's still life in the old dog yet. So let's take a look at Dustin Poirier in greater detail.
But first, a message from our sponsor.
Before we get into this video, I just want to tell you quickly about IP Vanish. Listen, when you go online, you're always at risk of getting hacked, okay? The big one is your financial details. With IP Vanish, that is a thing of the past. The risk from the hackers is totally eradicated. They cannot access your bank details, your financial details, or even your social media. People get hacked all the time. You do not want that to happen to you. There's certain websites that are restricted. If you travel internationally, of course, there's a lot of websites that are restricted. With IP Vanish, you are protected online at all times. That's why I recommend the IP Vanish. The IP Vanish app allows me to safely browse the internet, and I'm fully encrypted, so I'm protected, as I say, from the hackers, and I have unrestricted access to everything on the web. Fans, please go to ipvanish.com/Bisping, or just click the link in the episode description down below. IP Vanish. Okay, let's get into it. Here's the reality. Dustin Poirier is still only 33 years old, right? So that's still a young man, right? He's still actually younger than a lot or several UFC champions. So he's still got a long career to have, right? Now, I did speak to him this week and he said, look, listen, he said, I don't want to be having 3 fights a year going forward, because he's done this a long time. He's been in the UFC for 10 years. I think now he's at 27 fights. That's a lot of wear and tear. That's a lot of time in the gym. It's a lot of wear and tear on the body. It's a lot of wear and tear on the mind, the pressure, the nerves, all that stuff. It takes its toll on you. This year alone, that is his 3rd fight. So I think for Dustin Poirier, the smart thing right now is to take a little time. Let the dust settle. Oh my God, the puns are endless. Let the dust settle for Dustin's dusty road. Is it done and dusted career? No, all jokes aside, take some time off, okay? He's had a great schedule. He's had some great fights. He's been in some absolute goddamn motherfucking wars, okay? take a little time off. Enjoy the spoils of your career. Go back down to Louisiana, work on your foundation, do the charity work which you do, which Dustin just fucking gives back to his community so much. What a guy, right? But have some family time. Forget about mixed martial arts for a little while. And then when you come back, you're fresh, you're hungry, you want to get in there, okay? Listen, you've got to think. There's always that fight with Conor McGregor, the fourth fight. The reality is he beat Conor convincingly in the last 2 times. First time he knocked him out, second time, injury, whatever you call it, but it was trending that way anyway. Conor McGregor being the competitor that I know he is, right? The man's a very wealthy guy, but he still talks about fighting. That's because he prides himself on his fighting ability, which you have to respect. Certainly as a fighter, I do respect that. The reason I'm bringing this up is because that fourth fight with Conor McGregor, I believe will always be there. Not always, in fact, I actually take that back. It will be there for the next couple of years. And then probably Conor will go off into the sunset and enjoy his riches, and rightly so. So for the next couple of years, there's always going to be that Conor McGregor fight, okay? The reason I'm bringing that up is because that will be a massively high-profile fight, okay? So Dustin, can go away, enjoy the spoils of his career, take some time off, you know, and then when he comes back, if he fights Conor, all eyeballs will be on him again. Let's say they fight at the end of next year. In the meantime, Islam Makhachev and Beneil Dariush have fought. Justin Gaethje will have probably fought Charles Oliveira by then. You never know. Maybe, so let's say Makhachev wins. Maybe he's already fought the winner of Gaethje and Oliveira. The point I'm making is that the rest of the landscape will settle if Dustin takes some time off, because the respect that people have for him isn't going away, right? He's beaten Justin Gaethje. He's beaten Eddie Alvarez. He's beaten Anthony Pettis. He's beaten Max Holloway twice. He's beaten a lot of legends. He just beat Conor McGregor twice. He just fell short to Khabib recently and obviously Charles Oliveira last night. There's no shame in that. That is not a shameful career. That is a career to be proud of. But the point of this video is his dreams of being a UFC champion done and dusted. And this is what I'm saying. This is the track back to it, right? Take some time out. Let some of the division fight amongst themselves, because Poirier doesn't need to do that. Why is he going to go down there and fight all these guys? Let them clear that out. Let them clear the dust that may have settled. Or when the dust has settled, then he comes back. He fights McGregor. Massive high-profile fight. Fingers crossed for him, he gets the job done and he wins the fight. Then all of a sudden, he's the hot ticket again. And whoever's holding that belt, then then Dustin Poirier, Charles on the mind. I mean, come on, that was an amazing performance. And whoever's got the belt, then Dustin Poirier could potentially go back in and fight for it again. So the dream is not over. But let's just say that doesn't happen. Let's say he doesn't get the fourth fight with Conor. Let's say he never gets another title shot ever again, okay? And this is it. This is the height of his career. Well, first of all, what a career he had, right? Just absolutely unbelievable. And he'll go down as one of the best people in the UFC to never to never win the belt. He'll definitely go down as one of the best fighters that the UFC ever had to never win the belt. And I've got a little list here of a few other people as well. Number 1, my old mate Dan Henderson, right? Great fighter, legendary career, never won the belt. I'm not keen on him these days, but you can't deny the man's resume. Nick Diaz, everybody loves Nick Diaz. Great fighter, great career, still going strong, you know. Fell short against Robbie Lawler, but still. Never won the belt though. Had a great fight against George St. Pierre, but never won the belt. His brother, Nate Diaz, again, a fan favourite. Everyone loves Diaz and his brother, right? They both belong in the same conversation. Tremendous fighters, brought a lot of attention, a lot of eyeballs, a lot of exciting fights to the octagon, but never became champion of the world. Of course, it's not over yet. Another one, Uriah Faber. I mean, the guy was a WEC legend, a bantamweight legend, brought a lot of eyeballs to the sport. He was one of the stars of the lower weight classes, but as I say, never became the champion. No shame. These names that I'm mentioning now, these are legendary names. These are some of the biggest stars in the sport. So this is not necessarily a consolation prize. Another one, Alistair Overeem. Yes, you know, I can't do an Alistair Overeem quite as well as Rashad Evans, but you know, it sounds a little bit like this, and I apologise. But yeah, Alistair Overeem, one of the heavyweight greats, fought all over the world, many submissions, tremendous knockouts, K1 champion, Strikeforce champion. Was he the Pride champion? I don't think he was, but he came close to being a UFC champion. but not close enough. Of course, Joseph Benavidez, Joey B, right? Here's another guy, tremendous career. Fought for the belt on numerous occasions. One of the biggest stars of the lower weight classes of the flyweight and the bantamweight division, but never got the belt, okay? And of course, Alexander Gustafsson. Gustafsson put on some incredible fights, right? That fight with John Jones, one of the best fights you'll ever see. Had some sensational fights against Daniel Cormier. I mean, the list truly does go on, but he never became the champion. The point that I'm making is Dustin Poirier, whether or not he becomes the champion, has still got a lot to be proud of, right? What he's done for the sport, putting Lafayette, Louisiana on the map alongside Daniel Cormier and some others, doing the charity work that he's done, but more importantly, the performances that he put on inside the fucking octagon. That's what he's going to be remembered for. And that's what he's going to be put into the UFC Hall of Fame for. Make no mistake. Right? You don't have to be a champion to get put into the Hall of Fame. Dustin Poirier will be in the Hall of Fame one day, and I look forward to it. As I said before, on his resume, Max Holloway twice, Conor McGregor twice, Eddie Alvarez, Justin Gaethje, Anthony Pettis, lots of former champions, and prior to that, the list goes on and on and on and on and on, right? But the real question is, will that be enough for Dustin Poirier? But the thing is, when it comes to fight careers, legacy is what we think of. You know, for me personally, I was very lucky. And of course, I'm going to bring myself into the conversation. But I'm talking about me, right? And I'm talking about how this relates to this matter. For me, I had a good long career. You know, and I had many fights, and I had number one contender fights that I came up short in. And I managed to get a title fight on short notice. And I made the most out of that. I went out there and I won the fight in the first round. For me, that was amazing because, of course, fighting Anderson Silva, that was my crowning moment for me. That was a fight I always wanted. And that was a fight that I thought would define my career. You know, and when I beat him, I thought, okay, I would be happy retiring now because I finally done something of true merit. To beat Anderson Silva, one of the greatest of all time, right? When he was still pretty young as well, you know, and I was no spring chicken. I had one fucking eyeball as well. So I wasn't in my prime either. But to beat Anderson, for me, I was like, okay, I could hang my hat on that. I could say that was the highlight of my career. But of course, I got the title fight. And then for me, that superseded everything. That was the biggest moment of my career. And I'm so glad because it made everything worthwhile. So knowing that and knowing what it meant to me and knowing how much Dustin Poirier wants that, and all fighters want that, I don't think he will retire and hang up his gloves. But how will he be remembered? Listen, anybody that knows Dustin Poirier knows what a warrior that he is, okay? The fights that he put on will be remembered for years to come. He will be known as one of the best of his era. And that is an absolute fact. Dustin fought 3 times in 2021, something that he hasn't done for 4 years. He should go away, get some rest, take his time, spend some time with the family, regroup, and then come back. I believe a fight with Conor McGregor will be there. I believe that if he beats Conor McGregor in the final matchup, he will then be able to get a title fight at the end of 2022, early 2023, because that little clusterfuck that's going on with Beneil, with Islam, with Justin Gaethje, even Michael Chandler still floating about. All them, you know, they would have fought a little bit. Let them fight it out amongst them. Come back, beat the superstar Conor McGregor. Step back and get your title. And no, the road, the dusty road, the long and winding dusty road is not done and dusted for Dustin Poirier. I see a future where he can still be the champion. But if he doesn't do it, congrats Dustin, you're still the fucking man. Anyway, there you go. Thank you for watching. Hope you liked. Ring the bell, subscribe, all that good stuff.